Porche,
Right.
Mr. Brown,
Here.
Councilwoman Helms, I know was gonna, show up later. Ms. Gasper must be on her way. Mr. Timmons. Here. Crowder here, McQuillan.
Here.
Ms. Watkins. All right, let's, pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you humility and gratitude. Please grant us the wisdom to fulfill our obligation as we show up in service of the public trust. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, for our usual, I think Mr. Brown has a civility pledge.
We pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of our town.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. So let's hear a motion for the approval of the June 18th special call meeting agenda.
So move.
And a second,
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right. Unanimously. We were number 7, the public comment. Are there any public comment? All right, hearing none, we'll move to mayor concerns. Thank you for your patience on this, and thank you to the town clerk for putting these 5 concerns on our agenda. I apologize for the late addition for them. It was,
Yes, sir.
that was not my intent to
It's okay.
frame right before the exam.
We gonna work through it.
Yeah, that would be better, but these are important things to me. One is the town water. And I intend to bring up town water every time we meet until we don't have to talk about it anymore. I don't know what the flushing schedule is. And I'm aware that we don't know what the flushing schedule is, so I'm gonna communicate with Chris Cross at H Northcutt to find out what the flushing schedule is. I understand our water system is like a spider that dead ends and it doesn't circulate. And to get the chlorine treatment into the line, you gotta flush on a regular basis. And so I will be getting to the bottom of what our flushing schedule is and to hopefully see that there is one and we're following it. I talked to Mr. Cross this morning about the water, about the water plant, and about what's going on. I do have a few developments in what I think would be proper to get the hydrogen sulfide out of our water. As I understand the aquifer, the one we're in, the Santee limestone aquifer is a good aquifer. And it's better than the one that's 700 feet further down that requires all those, the one which is millions of dollars of treatment, which is what Mount Pleasant does. But it is rich in hydrogen sulfide. Things that treat hydrogen sulfide are aeration, which just means you bubble it up, let it fall. That's how they call it in the water field. Let the record show Miss Gasper is here.
Apologize for the big party.
Thanks for coming. We were better to hear which just means you aerate the water. Right, so they call it stripping. That's one solution to the hydrogen sulfide smell. Also, the addition of hydrogen peroxide is something that eliminates hydrogen sulfide, which I would like to, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Ozone, there's such a thing as an ozone generator that is not a lot of money, but if you treat the water with ozone, it eliminates hydrogen sulfide. And those are some aspects to treating the hydrogen sulfide in our good potable water that I'd like to look into and that I'll be pushing forward with action items is how do we treat it with ozone, how do we strip it, and how do we treat it with hydrogen peroxide. Those are 3 great ways to get rid of hydrogen sulfide. So that's some of the science that I'm looking into in the book that I got from Mr. Seabrook. A big problem with the water right now is we're still experiencing, as we've said, this drought condition that we haven't seen for over 100 years in our state, and the mass consumption of water for irrigation with two main subdivisions that have regular irrigation and the soccer field across Highway 17. I know that we sent out a water notice historically. My question was, how do we know that got to anybody? Like, I was ready to take a letter and pin it to the door or find the HMO president of both of the developments, as well as whoever's in charge of irrigation, so at the soccer field. I'd asked town staff. That's like, it sort of felt like me, we were phoning it in and hoping somebody would find our message. But to be more direct, but I understand we did take action on that, right? Did you send a certified letter to those three entities, or how did we do that? What happened?
Yes, we sent a certified letter and we also sent an email to the email addresses of record. And requested a red receipt, so they have received it.
Okay, great, and that was the Pamlico, the one I always miss.
So it's Pemmico, it's Hidden Pond Reserve, but that used to be called. Village at Pemmico. And then the soccer fields.
And then the soccer field. All right, can I get a copy of that certified letter, like the vocabulary in the letter?
Yes, it's the same vocabulary that is exactly on the list.
Okay, it's the same thing, just sent to them.
Yes.
Mr. Crowley,
Does Aldo Village include that, the other part that, the same, person owned that's on Seaweed Road?
The preserve at Seaweed Town or?
They changed the names, like people change their.
Seaweed Road.
What,
Seaweed Run.
yeah, does it include that as well? Is that a problem?
We didn't send a certified letter to CD Run.
Is that a problem area?
I don't know, I think any subdivision that's has an automatic irrigation system would be part of the problem.
Well, the same guy that developed the other one that you mentioned, developed that one as well.
They,
We can send it.
yeah, let's find them and send
I
them.
mean, if they're not a problem, we'll need to, but
Yeah,
if they
I think
are,
that-
then leave them off.
like having talked to our hired water consultant, when the soccer field's rolling, with irrigation, when both and maybe three now of the subdivisions are rolling, and they're flushing a line for some pending construction project, it puts us into a position of liability where we become a fighter, like we don't have enough water pressure to fight a fire, right? So it becomes a problem. Yes,
Is this, are we just getting this for information, or is this gonna be a discussion issue?
Yeah,
Amongst us, or what?
I'm happy, yeah, I was gonna offer my information and open it for discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
So, good question. What I plan to do is get a letter that maybe we can draft during discussion or something, and I'd like to meet with the HMO presidents and the soccer field representative. And just say, hey, we flushing so much water out so fast that it's causing a degradation in the treatment process of the water. Like, the chlorine hasn't had enough time to treat the water, and the water is smelling in people's houses because of because of your irrigation use in this drought. That's what I have to say about the water communication. What do y'all think about water?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah,
But I'm mainly focused on this emergency condition thing that you said. That concerns me tremendously. And I don't understand it, to tell you the truth. It's unfortunate we don't have somebody here that can speak intelligently to that matter. But,
Not that you didn't just.
no, I mean an expert
Yeah,
that
yeah,
can
yeah.
give us answers to our questions. Of particulars, because we've got about 1,600 homes, I think, that are vested, I believe, to be built in the town. Some neighborhoods are under construction without building permits, but it's a short period of time before they start. From what I understand of the physical condition of the plants, 1 and 2, there's more than enough water just to meet our needs. That comes out, the wells can pump sufficient capacity So I find it kind of hard to believe that we would find ourselves in an emergency condition with so little use. I mean, what's gonna happen when all these people come online? Forget the drought.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when there's 1,600 homes.
We got this,
And-
it's 1,750.
Okay, well, you know, the average amount of consumption a day per home, according to AI Internet, is about 300 to 400 gallons a day.
Whoa,
What's gonna happen then?
yeah, I agree. I think we should get an expert in the.
We can have HM Northcutt and our water consultant present at the next meeting to answer any of the council's questions.
Well, I would suggest in this regard, and also with the other stuff, I think you mentioned aerated hydrogen peroxide and ozone. I think they're currently using chlorine, right?
Yes.
And, but as far as chemical treatment, I assume with the hydrogen sulfide, or excuse me, the aeration, that's not a chemical treatment. Hydrogen peroxide would be. Is ozone the chemical treatment?
I don't think so.
All right, well, the chlorine and the hydrogen peroxide absolutely are. And from what I understand, well, I don't want to belabor it too much. The well, the above ground well has never worked. I mean, if we have that so it functions and there's water in it, then you get more contact with whatever kind of chemical treatment you're gonna use.
Right.
But if there's.
Above ground well?
Tank, excuse me, above ground tank.
Right.
From what I understand now, when that well plant two is operational. It goes straight from the ground to the houses. And there's a chemical treatment that's injected into it before it goes out, but there is no contact coming. Is that a correct statement?
I don't know that that is correct, because what I understand is Station 2 was put online so we could maintain the tank, the water tower. But it hasn't been used in so long, and it's been cleaned and reused, but it is has even more hydrogen sulfide.
Well, that was another question. I mean, so they're at different aquifers, you
It's
admit?
just a different place in the same aquifer. Like the so south, the more sulfide you get.
Okay, because I remember them telling us that well, and that this had to have been known when the test well was drilled. That water had more hydrogen sulfide.
It does.
And it would smell, it would smell different than what we got here at Town Hall.
Right.
So that's nothing new. There
Right.
shouldn't be anything. So I think what we need is like what we tried to do a long time ago. We didn't have a quorum because people didn't come, to get these folks in a room that they can explain to us. We need to take a deep dive into this so we understand.
Should we form like a water commission or something, or some kind of council?
We could do that, but I mean, I think it would just, I mean, I think all council members would be interested in that.
Right. So let's
and-
get HM Northcutt, I don't know if Chris Cross is their representative or who it is. And Ron at the July,
And it would be beneficial.
Well, I'm not gonna be here in July, and I wanna be
yeah, I
there.
want you to be here.
So it
Yeah.
needs to be a special meeting sometime in July. And the one that we had last time, we had EMC Brook. We had two guys from the Rural Water Authority. We had at least one, maybe two from Northcutt. And Ron Black.
Do we have the minutes from that meeting?
There were
No.
no minutes taken since there was no quorum.
But our legal counsel advised that we could ask questions and talk, but we couldn't take any action, so there are no minutes. It wasn't even really a formal meeting, it was just a discussion. But we need to have something, it needs to be on record, so the public knows
I
too.
totally agree.
So we can get to the bottom of all this, because it's like a dog chasing its tail, it keeps going round and round and round, and nobody knows what the heck's going on. And thank you for doing the work that you have to try and figure it out. I've tried to do a little bit myself, but just gleaning from.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna fix it. It's not gonna make it less expensive because we don't have enough, because the problem with rural water is, like we've said, a big city solution for a small town problem. But we can at least deliver water that doesn't stink. So what's the idea that we call a special call meeting of water specific in July?
Absolutely, that's my suggestion. Do I need to make a motion to that effect? that appropriate?
Does anybody, before we make a motion, does anybody else have any comments or discussion?
How many water customers we have online right now?
I don't know.
We have 400 active meters and 36 of those are commercial residents and the remaining are residential. We have in just,
Say that again?
we have 400 active meters, active accounts.
How many inactive?
I can get you that number. To you, I don't know that one off the top of my head.
And what was the second part that you said?
36 are commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, I had something to share also. So we get complaints. I would hazard to guess that we don't get complaints from people who have lived here for generation upon generation. They know the water stinks here, they know why it does, and they've probably invested in a system. We're gonna get more, it just stands to reason, complaints from people who are brand new to this area and, oh my gosh, what's up with the water? We're paying for this water, it shouldn't stink. We need to do a public awareness thing specifically, if no other place, no other ways, to these sales offices for these big new Mamba developments coming in. The way it works, well, I just represented some folks who bought a house over here in Sweetwater. The builder put a system in there that came with the house.
What is Sweetwater?
It's up across from the church, you go back up in there.
Is it in the town?
Yes,
Millcrest.
Hillcrest. Millcrest, Sweetwater. Yes, it's part of the town. The builder,
So they have public water there?
No.
I'm sorry,
They have-
that's a very good point, but it's well water, but we
Why
put
are
the
we
system
talking
in
about
it.
somebody that's not on the
Now, wait
town
a
water
minute.
system?
Bear with me. These people are gonna move into these developments who do have public water.
Mhm.
And they're gonna be surprised with why the water stinks, and it
Absolutely.
just stands to reason we're gonna get an increase in complaints.
No
What
question.
we need to do when they open their sales offices, go in there and say, hey, let me tell you about the water around here. All right, and now the way real estate works is, those salespeople in that office are now aware of a material fact. It's incumbent on them to share that with their potential buyers. And I can guarantee you that they haven't been. Because I've had people, two new families that I met at the church that, hey, what's up with the water? I said, they didn't tell you about the water. They said, no. And they were very understanding about it. And they said, we figured we need to buy a system. And I said, yeah, you really should. But we're gonna have this influx of people who don't understand it, and we need to make sure they understand it.
Agreed.
I'm gonna tell you something else about the water. If it's sulfur water, it will turn your faucets black. It will corrode them over a period of time. You have got to change them out.
Yeah,
I'm in the process of doing that right now.
It's farm water. It's on everything. It's on your furnishings, your fixtures and your water heater, all of it. But that's well, and anybody that drills their own well, that's on them.
Yeah.
But realtors aren't gonna tell people that are in a subdivision that's been approved by the town about any kind of water system. It's incumbent upon us as the owner.
tell the sales agent.
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
It's incumbent upon us as the owner and operator of that water system
Yes.
to provide our customers with their money's worth. It's what they're paying for.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
disagree with you,
So,
but
and the reason why it is like how it is, Paul, and you know this, that it has not been constructed properly to begin with, nor has it been maintained, nor has it been, there's no capital improvement plan in place to fix it. It can be done. All it takes is money.
I don't know why we're arguing here. My point is, we need to educate the public, especially the newcomers.
Point taken, and here's what we're doing right now, we're talking about the wall. Yeah, and that's what we gotta do. You know, we can't continue to sit in meetings pretend on some issue.
Well, here's another, you're not gonna get busy because those 7,800 homes come online, they want to be where got. My calculation, you're looking at 840,000 gallons of water per day.
Right. And I think we can, like, the test showed the aquifer can handle the water, but we can't continue to deliver water to the state. So I wanna look at July calendars and see. When we can call a special meeting specific to water, so Kent, let's start with bringing you back from Italy
Come back on the seventh.
on the seventh. And then the next question is, Rodney, when are you?
In October? I mean,
I'm sorry, yeah.
my mind is somewhere, and it's in July.
Yeah, after the seventh, I think is the.
Continue to talk, continue to talk.
Like, I'm looking at the ninth would be the earliest day.
I will say that we have a wetlands, committee meeting at 2:00 on Monday.
On the ninth.
That's it, I'm gonna be out of this, but that will be.
How about Monday, the 13th?
That's the planning commission.
Yes. That's
Planning
planning commission.
commission.
And then the 14th is the park board.
What time does planning commission meet on Monday?
So
We need.
we're gonna need to.
Yeah, about Wednesday, about Wednesday, the 15th.
I don't think it's anything.
I'll be at work, but I mean, I can make arrangements, so, what, so I'm going to what time it is?
Yeah, what time works for you? Like, just, it's
Like
okay.
early in
It's
the
what-
morning.
I've got some time, so I can work things around. 6 o'clock,
Wednesday, the 15th, at 6 P.M.
15.
Going once.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
All right, so y'all, let's meet, let's try to arrange the, let's certainly make it good. We have a forum on Wednesday, July 16th at 6 P.M. We'll get some professionals in here. I think Mr. Seabrook would definitely be one. I think representative from HM North Pat, I mean, definitely be another, certainly Ron. I don't know if we'll have our new water employee hired by then or not. But let's, who else we need in the room?
On the 60, 15th or 16th.
15.
The Wednesday, the 15th. And I know these special meetings are gonna be a thing, but we're gonna have more than one meeting to get the work done.
Can we make sure that meeting that we have maps that show the current water system and the hookups that are on that map?
Yeah, I think we can.
I know it's there, we just need to have it, be able to look at it.
Yeah, I've got some of those in my office. I got them, so see when I think I'm looking at them. All right, any further communication on the water? All right, that's what we need to do. That's an action step. We'll move forward on that. What's the, so I'll move on to my next concern, which is the, which is our 88 range. Is there any, you had to report, Catherine, or?
We did receive engineer drawings for the ramp to have a landing, and the original. Landing was going to be taking out our cypress tree, and the engineers are going to be redesigning it to be going towards our parking lot. We haven't received that updated plan yet, but we do have a stamped engineered set with us here at Town Hall. That has been sent to inspection services as well, and we've along with the other complaint that we received. We're just waiting to hear back from them.
Wait, you hear that?
Inspection services as well.
And the fellow that was doing the work for us,
Courtesy, yes.
Mr. Need, I talked to him with him, is he? Have you spoken with him recently, or is he got any kind of a plan on? Is he giving up on it or is
Oh,
it?
no, he was still working on it. I believe due to the rain, he wasn't able to come back out this week to finish the ramp, but he has started to fix it.
All right, so we finally got engineer drawings. Mr. Meek has those drawings and he's
Yeah.
willing to do it per the drawings.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm confused. Do we have a building permit for this work
Yes, we do.
from Charleston County?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It's
so,
posted on.
so I can only assume that they have reviewed the required drawings in order to issue the permit.
Yes.
Correct? Why is anybody else looking into anything?
There was issues when it came up during inspections as well, so inspection services and building services have been working with it.
yeah, I think the engineer drawings came way late in the process, because I asked to see drawings to start off with. But there was-
Maybe I'm not saying this correct, because they asked us the correct question, but
Building services approved the permit and then they granted for the work for the ADA ramp.
so
When we,
the county.
can I please finish the sentence, so then I think that might answer your question.
Okay,
The building services approved the permit, they started the construction of the work, they requested to have an inspection on it. That's when inspection services said, where are the engineer drawings? We had the engineer drawings, inspection services didn't approve the ramp, there were other issues that I haven't seen in those inspection reports from the inspector. That had to be addressed, and so now we have a set of engineered drawings. That the county has approved, that's stamped by a certified engineer, and they are working on those drawings. To improve fixing the issues that were.
I am still.
It has,
Inspection services guys are the ones we hired to replace the county, is that correct?
no, inspection services is still an entity of Charleston County, we have not executed the contract. with
Maybe
CCI.
terminology is wrong then. Okay, this is the county building inspection services we're
Yes.
talking about, and they're the ones that review drawings and issue permits. Right?
They're the ones who do inspections based off of what building services. approves. There's different umbrellas, so there's.
Okay, so the building
services.
inspection got who is it?
It's the building official, like the building inspector, but in the Charleston County umbrella, since they're so large. It's like a different subsection, so when you talk to inspection services. You're not talking to like the permitting under building services, the people who issue permits.
Okay.
So
But
there's
then,
two.
but then the guy who does the inspection, obviously, he has to be looking at. The plans and the permit.
He was looking at the permit and he requested to see the plans, and this is where it came up, because there were plans attached to it.
There's absolutely no way in the world you can do the proper inspection without plans. I mean, the permit is just to construct the ramp, okay, here's the permit. But how it's constructed is pursuant to the.
It's a mess. And like I saw Mr. Meach show up and start building, the permit was fine, we take it to the window, asked for a drawing, it was been a drawing. The ramp came back and was way out of line, it sounds like at that point, a drawing happened. But it's been a mess, and that's.
Well, there's apparently-
I needed to make sure that wasn't stalled out, and the town people weren't continuing to pay for a ADA accessible portalet. That was unnecessary, but this project was obviously.
So the county has received proper plans
Yes,
and reviewed those and issued the building permit. That's posted out there now on the work that's being done right now is pursuant to those plans and that building.
yes,
Okay,
Yeah, whoever's communicating with Mr. Neater, I'll be happy to do it, but
and this is the same guy?
we gotta leave the work site. Less hazardous than it is now. Looks like a pile of just wood that's thrown out there with screws and cement, and it's not safe. So I'm sure by now he must be pretty distraught with having to do what he's having to do to put the ramp. But that satisfies my curiosity on the ADA ramp. It's good to hear, but it's still moving forward. But if we need to drive that train until it's finished. And I don't know if you need some help with that, if I need to. If you need my motivation to, I'll be happy to. All right, town holiday schedule, if there's no further discussion on the ramp. This is one, the town holiday schedule, like, for example, the. Yeah, one of the most important holidays in our nation is Juneteenth. And that falls on tomorrow, which is Friday. So that is a holiday, it is a federal national holiday. And the town staff doesn't work on Fridays. So they don't get that holiday. The idea would be, there'd be a number of different ideas, but what I think would be the best solution to honoring the holiday is to allow a floating holiday, as opposed to everybody leaving on Monday and us being closed for 4 days in a row or something like that. But to allow a floating holiday for staff to use, like, as long as it's not a critical short staffing. So they get that holiday, so they're able to spend that holiday. When a scheduled holiday falls on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Y'all tracking on what I'm, picking up what I'm putting down on that?
If I may, our current personnel handbook does address that too. For like, we asked our labor attorney as well, if you're scheduled to work on that day, that it could be approved by the town administrator as a floating holiday to take.
That's in the manual,
Yes,
right? I did not know that.
yes, it's in the manual, but it's not just Juneteenth, it's also the scheduled holiday that we have for the 4th of July. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and it is also Christmas this year, so there's 4 Friday holidays. When we were doing the personnel handbook, we kept it just like as it always has been. And we didn't update it to fit with our current operating schedule for Monday through Thursday, so it wasn't addressed that way.
Right, so for the time being, unless at some point we amend the current operating schedule. I agree with the floating, I think the floating holiday idea is the best way to go. Anybody have any comments or discussion on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, okay, so for Thanksgiving, that's all, like a former council member, different jurisdictions said, well, look. Thanksgiving's on Thursday this year.
Is it on a Thursday this year?
It's always on Thursday.
All right.
So that Friday is, you don't have to worry about that. Christmas is different, New Year's is different, Easter's always on a Sunday,
Wait,
so you.
if you're gonna start ripping around like this, let me take some notes.
So you don't have to worry about that. But I would think that my impression was that since Juneteenth is on Friday and the town hall's closed on Friday, the holiday would be celebrated on Monday.
But
There's no floating about
But
it.
that closes us 4 days in a row.
Yes, it does.
And
But then there's Memorial Day, which guess what? It's always on a Monday too. So we're closed for 4 days then.
I would like to be closed for 4 days in a row as little as possible.
If we would like to do it that way, because our current schedule that was adopted by the council has the set holidays. As those Fridays, if we would like to change it to be that Monday, it would have to be done by resolution. And can we do that as a voice resolution, Matt?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I like the floating holiday thing because it keeps the town building open for the town people more often.
Today. That's the reason. So that's when it's only on like Friday.
Right.
Yes, that's very rare.
Well, it's more common this particular calendar.
It's more.
So again, I like to understand completely. So when you say floating, what does that do? The employee just chooses whatever day they want to take in lieu of that, whenever they want during the calendar year. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking about?
like you've got, it's sort of like having a credit, a holiday day credit. So if Takia or Miss Caroline or Dan or Catherine one had a holiday credit because Juneteenth fell on a Friday or 4th of July falls on a Friday, then they get to spend that on a Wednesday, an arbitrary Wednesday.
Or so then the Friday after Thanksgiving would be the same, and Memorial Day, which falls on a Monday, would also be the same, and when is Martin?
I think Memorial Day is that rare.
That's the third Monday
It's a Monday also, so we're gonna do floating days on every Monday or Friday holiday?
No, it was just for the Friday holidays.
I think Memorial Day and Martin Luther King Day are both Monday holidays always, and those are just the two times that we're closed 4 days in the.
Well, unless we change the work week schedule, you're gonna have a 4-day weekend on all of those holidays, unless you do this floating thing. So, I mean, it's better to address all of them than just one.
I think any, like, all holidays that fall on Friday is what I'm talking. Any holiday that falls on a Friday becomes a floating holiday.
So that's only, so that generally is only gonna be. Juneteenth, the day after,
Juneteenth varies.
but it's, I mean, obviously it falls on Friday because it is this
And
time.
the 4th of July as well.
Okay, 4th of July, and that would
Always
also
the day
be
after
Thanksgiving, yes, it could also be Christmas or, what, the second day that goes along with that.
Agree.
So, you look at what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. But the Mondays are just gonna be there anyways.
Yeah, I
So,
think I think we only had 2 holidays, which are Memorial Day and Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, the President's Day is usually on a Monday.
Yeah, so it's Labor Day,
President Day is the various.
yeah, President's Day, Labor Day, Martin.
Labor Day,
And
Memorial
Memorial
Day,
Day.
Martin, but President's Day came, it's only
Like
11th
this.
of November.
Once you come up with a plan that we can look at and decide upon, we're kind of like. Not getting
Yeah,
anywhere.
my plan is any holiday that rolls on a Friday becomes a floating holiday for towns.
I kind of like that. I could agree with that,
Yeah,
because I know it's going to change, right? The Mondays, the Memorial Days, the Martin Luther King birthdays, that's going to always be on a Monday. So I kind of agree with that.
That's easiest.
Can we just do that by resolution now then?
I don't think you can do it at this meeting because this is couched all as concerns, not consideration or action items.
Right.
But at whenever your next meeting is, we can prepare a simple resolution, it could be done by voice vote, just to amend that.
but if it's in the handbook now, is that,
Oh, it's in the handbook now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to take it formal action.
okay, all right, well, then. Now we talked about it, now everybody's aware of what the deal is, and so thanks for your patience on that, and I do appreciate it.
But it is at the town administrator's approval, because we don't.
Yes, it would be at my approval, so like when the employee comes and requests that. I would have it on the schedule.
So that everybody's not taking the same day.
We
Yeah,
always ensure that town hall would be.
yeah, there may be some days where it's not, where you can improve it. Where we have to push it to find a better day.
Okay.
So the town grounds maintenance, I got a report from one of Mr. Brown's friends that the grass was high in the park. It looks like we're kind of shaggy around our town signs and things like that. Do we have somebody cutting the grass regularly?
We have our maintenance crew coming in tomorrow to be cutting all of the town properties. I also spoke currently right now with Wendell Dingle of Dingle Lawn Services. He has been the lawn maintenance since I can recall. He is going to be mowing the town property every 2 weeks. The municipal park for 3 weeks during the summer. This year it got a little bit out of whack because of the drought. We didn't have a lot of grass and then it rained and boom. And so we were just missing a beat of scheduling him, but he is coming out, he's going to be coming out on a regular basis.
All right, and is he contracted?
Yes.
And what's the term of his contract?
There was no end date on his contract, but we can amend that at any point in time. I would also suggest with your new facilities and grounds manager that they review it and then pitch any kind of new recommendations. When we do want to go to recommendations, depending on the different types of pricing related to that, with our new procurement code, we might have to go out to bid for that service.
Right, copy. So Wendell Dingle is the mystery Dingle is the guy, is he an Ottawa citizen?
Yeah.
Is that Henry?
Henry Daniel's son.
Son?
He is, because it was when Gregory was administrator, I remember this, and there were a couple quotes, I think he was the best price on the quote too, and that's who they used, but that was before a lot of y'all's time, but I do remember that for some reason.
Yeah.
So his contract is, he's contracted to do it.
Yeah.
But it's an open-ended contract, and now it's the pay.
It depends on each service, I can break that down for the council. Sure, I don't have that off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, that'd be great to see how much is going in. And then, and the idea of losing the shaggy now is we felt scheduled due to drought and did we Brindle the town lawnmower?
At one time, he was allowed to use it, but we currently have the lawnmower right now, because there was some questions related to it, so we took it back.
Right, yeah, I know we do, and it's perfectly functional. And in the warehouse on the functional town trailer at our station two. Is there a character reference on, does anybody know, Mr. Daniel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all my life.
all your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Any issues that might come up with the Dingle family, I can handle any kind of, you know,
Okay,
discussions with the Dingle family, so that's not a problem.
Every communication that I've had with Mr. Bingle has always been very professional.
Yeah.
good, so
Matter of fact, I talked to him a couple weeks ago about the park, and he said, I haven't had, you know, the park is getting out of hand. We need to get back on working on the park because it's got to get burned and all the other areas in the park. And I said, well, I'll talk to Catherine about it. And I don't know what's going on because I thought it was always
On schedule.
on schedule. Exactly, just like the town hall and everything else, because they've been doing it for 20 years or so, I guess. So, and it's not a financial thing. It's because they're people in the town.
Okay.
They want to make sure everything, you know, was present, presentable. So
Okay.
and they take a lot of pride in it. So yeah, he's I've been talking to him often. So
Excellent.
any issues with getting the park mode, the town hall mode, it's not a problem.
That's great, that's
Residents will be
great.
able to see him tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it's through.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, did he work
The
for,
town hall site.
did he work for the county?
no, he never went to count.
You see that right on Pushing Road on the left?
Yeah,
I know.
and then
That's great, that's great to hear. Who love the town,
Yeah.
they care about it. So if you see him or whatnot, it's like, let him know.
Yeah.
That we're receiving complaints about the park. All right, so thanks for the discussion on that, and then so we had somebody come up along, letter E under mayor's concerns, but we had somebody come and cut this big donut that's holding water, but it's easy to see now that it's raining.
Mhm.
And it was so deliberate, they did such a good job at cutting that donut, that it sprayed gravel and dirt and mud up on the face of this building. To the point where we had to get a hose and a water nozzle to wash it. It was a deliberate act of vandalism. We have, but we have a camera right there, right? Also, the same sort of vandalism activity in our new town park. As we got it on some of the trucks that go in there and cut donuts and cut food like kids will in four-wheel drive pickup trucks happen in the park. It's on film. Then we call the police and both agencies. We also have cameras there, right? But neither time that we've been taken advantage of and vandalized have the cameras helped us do anything, right? Because they don't function. Is that correct?
I've been fighting to get them functional, but yes, that's.
Okay. So this camera here will let you see real time, but it doesn't record it.
It was having issues with the playback and I've been trying to get with customer service to get fixed. At one point in time, I did pitch to the council to have Coastal Burgo alarm. Reinstall all of the cameras, and that way, anytime that we have an alert, I will reach back out to them and get an updated quote and get those installed immediately. Cause I'm not sure how old these cameras are, but I'm not sure who installed them, I'm not sure who. I see where they are in the network, I see where they are everywhere else, and I've been trying to get that fixed, I'm trying to get T-Mobile out of the park. To fix this day, I can have them all attached to the same app, the app also doesn't with the same login have any of the same cameras up at the same time. So there's just a bunch of different issues.
So the cameras here were basically you inherited these cameras. You don't know how old they are. You can see real time. The service providers for that equipment we looked at together in your office, did they never call back or they're not interested in coming to look at it or?
I keep playing phone tag with them.
Right.
It's just trying to get a technician out here, cause I've gone out like park board there and see what's going on with them.
But the cameras at the park are different because they're brand new,
Yes,
right? We just haven't been able to.
I need a technician on site to assist.
Yeah, we haven't achieved installation on this. All right, yeah.
Sounds like you get better off with wildlife cameras.
Yeah, are we paying money for these services?
That's a good question.
We own the cameras outright, we're paying for the SIM cards. These ones are connected to our Wi-Fi, so we're not paying anything for them, we own them outright. T-Mobile, we're paying for their wireless SIM cards, and then that way,
And with, help me out like with specifics. This one we inherited that we monitor ourselves, so we don't pay anybody else to do it, correct?
correct.
And that's what, someplace right out here?
So there's one here, there's one here, there's one on the side of the building here, there's some that point to the. There's one on the inside as you come into the entryway, there's the Ring camera, there's the camera that points towards. The back of the building,
None of them work?
they're not currently recording right now.
Well, they'll show you real time, like you can look and see what's going on in the park and like in Catherine's office, to the right of the desk, there's a closet. And there's a stack of equipment in there that is attached to all the cameras, right?
It's the entire network, so it's got the camera hookups, it's got where the internet hub is for our entire system, the phone lines, everything.
So, but then there's some people that might know how to network that to get us the information we're looking for, but apparently we can't get it done. With phone tag.
Well, that's useless. But what about the park stuff? You said that's brand new. Why is that?
The cameras we own outright, the problem is connecting the cameras to the physical app is what we're having an issue with. We're not paying for the app or anything else. The only thing that we're paying for is because there's no internet service out there. We're paying for it's a SIM card so that you have a wireless internet connection to all 4 cameras that are at each of the gates.
So.
I'm trying to contact.
I'm not a deer hunt, but. You're not a deer? Anybody, you? Why can't we just put a trail cam up there and look at it on your phone?
You would, but you're still gonna have the same, if you want real time, you're gonna have this SIM card app connection issue that I think she's talking about.
No, I'm thinking that, with somebody, nobody was here to see the guy do that. If they were doing that, you look out the window and see it. You don't need to look at a screen from a camera. And the guys that are doing it at the park, you don't need to see it real time. You need to have a recording of it.
There are camera traps that biologists use and don't require SIM connections. It's a self-contained unit. But it records when it's activated, like when something moves, I believe. There may be another generation of this.
You get something like notify you, like, hey, there's an animal, something in the cameras, that's the SIM card, but other ones just, like you said, when there's movement, it'll take a picture or take a certain length video.
Download the information, you can have to go physically go to the camera trap and download the information from it and watch it, so.
Yeah, there's a generation of it now that communicates with your phone, so you can look at you can watch the deer eat your corn on your phone, real time.
Right.
And I had suggested that we get some of.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Still gonna have the internet, it's still gonna have the internet connectivity,
Yeah, that works.
the SIM card or
Yeah.
something.
Well, if it works for deer hunters, why can't it work for the town of Onondaga?
I don't know, it'd be at least a stopgap.
I will tell you, our neighborhood had an issue with vandalism and we had like cameras like that and other type of cameras and trail cameras. None of them got anybody's license plates ever. We have a gate and a bunch of people would hit the gate,
Yeah,
which is very expensive for the neighborhood to fix, so. Ultimately, I think like last year, we had specific cameras installed to get people's license plates. Like when they pull into the parking lot or when they're going through the gate at the park. And it is aimed down at it and it can actually read their plate and uses AI to tell us whose license plate it is so that we can report it to law enforcement. Other than that, you're probably not gonna be able to bust people unless you've got a really good camera that can get
That's
license.
great information. That's great information. Yep.
Well,
So,
law enforcement uses them at stoplights all the time. I mean, if the technology's there, is it just too expensive to use? Or what? I don't understand.
So the town park doesn't have gates up,
It does.
well, how do people get in? Or they're not locked?
Gate two, the second gate you come to,
There's
you
no
could get
gate.
around, right? You could get around through the trees and there's something that we call a chain, right?
Yes, there's multiple chains that are heavy duty. The park board is also actively looking at projects to improve those gates immediately.
Yeah.
At gate, well, there's now the event gate and then the north gate.
So these are concerns, we can't do anything, but we have had a discussion about it. Now we've had a discussion, perhaps you'll see this again as an action item on the first Thursday of July.
Okay.
So thank you for your attention to those concerns, I'd like to get it.
I mentioned one more thing
Okay.
about ground maintenance. Looks like we tried unsuccessfully to address the pothole issue at the entrance to our parking lot here. I think it seems like they were supposed to get I forget what it's called, but the stuff that compacts, if you drive over it. And it seems like they maybe just put like loose gravel in it and it was not.
Right.
Especially helpful.
I've noticed that
Yeah.
too. Noticed that too. You better
That was
that, but it came right back. All right, any further discussion? All right, let's move on to consideration for approval of recommended municipal park board 5K fun run event on September 12th, 2026. I guess to get into a discussion, we need to entertain a motion to approve, right? Or does anybody have any information on this?
If you like, I can provide
Yeah, go ahead.
information, so, the 5K fun run event, Jeffrey Cohen of the park board has been working with, local industry partners to get the 5K back up and running. He planned the last 5K fun run, last time, I believe it started here at Town Hall and ended at the park. What we're also looking forward is, at the park to also do like a kids run too within the park and make it like a fun event. The park board is mainly looking at this to be one of the 4 events through the year. They're coming before to get approval for the date so that they can plan out all of the logistics, which would include starting to market, getting the necessary road closures, ensuring that we have enough emergency personnel. And this would be a town sponsored event. And starting to also get more sponsors and more fundraising for the event. That is the consideration before the council.
So this is an activity that's happening before to bring and it's coming back.
Yes, and this is one of the strategic priorities for the town council to start bringing back these events. This is one that's specifically.
I like 5K a lot.
Completely in favor, but I know that there's a lot of risk and liability with athletic events. If there's someone that I know, I'm sure there are probably some standards for runs in terms of safety, like having water stations and how, September hopefully will be fine climate wise, but looking at heat and humidity and all of those things.
General
we'll have
waivers.
someone that would work with to help make sure we have all the appropriate safety things in place for a running event.
Yes, you can work with that. I know Mr. Cohen did obtain all of that information previously when he planned it last time.
Is this open for discussion, or do we need motions to discuss?
Motion to discuss.
Anybody want to make a motion to approve or deny so we can discuss?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommended municipal park board 5K fun run event for September 12th, 2026.
Second.
Let's discuss.
Where do we stand with an application? An application form, last I heard, I think legal was reviewing.
That's with the park board, all of the legal edits have been provided to the park board.
So in other words, we don't have an active application at this point.
No, we don't have an active application. This would also be a town event completely. This would not be an applicant. This is the park board doing its duty for one of the 4 sponsored events, the park, that's for the ordinance.
Well, I mean, and I don't have the ordinance here in front of me, but I would think that any event there would be an application. And the application, if it's done correctly, should address all these issues that we have. And we don't have.
Do we get an, I mean, I think we're in favor of it, do we get an application to go along with it, just to?
We can, so we're, just because we're asking our board to create and fill out an application to do a town event too.
Yeah, so we demonstrate that we're doing what we're asking other people to do, kind of like the lighting. Like if we're gonna pass a lighting ordinance, we better make sure we comply with it, right?
And also, you say a town sponsored event. Does that include money from our general fund?
From the park budget, yes, this would be the town event, it would be coming out of the festival line item that's related to the park.
But is there any income related? Is there?
In order to start kind of getting advertisers and sponsors, we need the approval for the event.
So there would be.
Yes, the park would be
There'd
actively
be
getting
a
out.
hit, a positive hit on the income line that corresponds with this from the budget.
Well,
Yeah, and anything that is paid for that's coming towards the park goes out of the park budget, like that specific line item. And then it's also coming, all of the funds have to go back to the park. It's not just supplementing.
that's what concerns me about all of this, is that, we don't really have anything. What if there are no other sponsors? And the town sponsors it and it comes out of the park budget and that's that. We had an event, we spent the money.
It would be nice to have some details, like, on what, whatever the application.
I don't know what the application looks like, but
The application is, if the town is the one hosting the event, the application is not made for that, so that it's an application. That I drafted originally, it's based off of this, where Hanahan has an amphitheater. And
okay.
they'll have these massive concerts, a bunch of beer, somebody left one time and killed somebody, and so we have a very strong legally protective. Agreement for when people want to use their amphitheater. And there's different criteria, different things, if you're serving alcohol, not serving alcohol, et cetera, but it has strong liability release language, indemnity language, all that kind of stuff. It wouldn't be appropriate for the town to sign the application that we've proposed for third parties to utilize the park. But that's in there, that's, I guess, at the park board for approval. The legals, we're good with it. It's protective of the town.
So what you're saying is that is just for outside entities that the town is not sponsoring itself, that we don't have, nor should we have. Any kind of application or any kind of information before we approve something like this, we just say, go ahead and plan it and we'll put up how much money is the town, we would have to approve the funding of it, wouldn't we?
Yes, the budget for it, so like the,
They all just approving the dates
Yeah.
and then ultimately can approve if that's not necessarily how it's ordered, but I think that's what they're saying, we need to lock in the date to get sponsors, but if they come back to you. 2 months before and say we hadn't been able to find any sponsors, y'all ultimately have to say it.
Yeah, so that's important, like, that's better information, like.
Yeah.
I get it that we shouldn't expect a application like a general outside entity would. But unless there's a document somewhere in my inbox that I don't know about, like, we don't know how many people, are we charging people, how long is it gonna last, like, there are a lot of details, but all we're doing now is approving the date. And we'll expect a report on the or something.
Right.
yeah,
And I think I would make that part of your motion, that
All right.
we're getting, would like the park board updating this with more information.
Let the record show Ms. Helms is first.
Because the last time this happened, Parks and Recreation put this on, and it was mostly a health fair type environment with the St. James anti-health fair and Parks and Recreation. So they had the health clinic out there to do
When
blood
you say
work
Parks
and all
and
that kind of stuff.
Recreation, you're talking
You know.
about the county Parks and Recreation
Park, yeah,
Commission.
yeah, so that's, he did it the last time, so you do the fun walk and you get at the park and then do health screenings, whatever they can, and whoever want to be a vendor can discuss nutritional values and blood pressure, anything like that. So that, I think that's what he's trying to gear towards. It's like a health fair, it's more just a fun walk, it's more than a health fair. So,
But what we're doing here is,
Well, yeah, we just doing the date, so I mean, it's fine.
is improvement date,
All right, well, I'd like to amend the motion.
please.
I'd like to amend the motion to specify that what we are doing here tonight is approving the date of September 12th, 2026 only. That we are not committing anything, any money or any personnel or anything else to it. That we'll need to have more details for that to approve.
That sounds fair to me.
It's not a problem.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? The only further discussion I would add is, I do think that a regular form to inform council on town related events would be a good idea. Like something made for information to council, like not what Mac wrote for us for outside parties, but something that gives the council some information to vote on stuff and not have to ask questions every time. But otherwise, if there's no further discussion, we'll call the vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, carries unanimously. All right, so number 10.
We have two, do we have two motions?
Yeah, you voted on Kent's motion and then got approved, so now you gotta vote on the underlying motion as to.
So the underlying motion, could I just withdraw it? I think we got it done.
Not the way that Councilman Kraus, made the motion, you have to vote on the original motion as amended.
What was okay, so,
To approve what's written on the agenda was the
One
original
round.
motion.
okay, so any further discussion on the original motion as it been? All right, hearing none, we call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, carried unanimously. Thanks for that point of order. All right, so we'll move on to number 10, if you follow along with the program consideration for approval for a $250 dark sky place application. So I think Ms. Helms, you're right on time.
Hey, everybody, sorry I'm late. Our mayor was taking some R&R this week, so Ashley, had brought me up to date on a dark sky application. We have the opportunity for our park, I think, if not the southeast, maybe the east coast, be the first dark sky public park.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would be a great honor if we could get that done. She indicated there's also an opportunity for our town. Absolutely meet the standards, be considered a dark sky town. But this is time sensitive because I believe there's like a $250 application fee. And with all the hard work that the park board has been doing, and I think that would bring a lot of positive attention
Right.
to what we're trying to do out there. So I asked for it to be added to the agenda,
So our driver on this, the guy that's part of the Dark Sky Network is Dr.
Demetrius Papadopoulos.
He pronounces it with a long no. That's
Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos.
Yeah.
Demetrius Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos.
He was in my office earlier and delivered a downcast and light shield that was given to him by, oddly, my astronomy professor when I was at College Charleston. So but that's not what we're talking about. But he does, he is a time is of the essence opinion that we would pay the $250 application fee and then write a letter pretty quick to the application.
like today.
Board, yeah, pretty quick. Yeah, yeah, and the other, the other concern that you should be aware of is that for our park to be considered a dark sky park, it would have to be open at night. Right, and I think our current policy is that it's closed after sunset, it's sunrise to sunset. But for the dark night sky has to be accessible to the dark night viewer by having the park be open at night. So that may be for further discussion down the road, but that is, and I'm sure it will be. But that is if we're not willing to have the park be open at night, then that is a showstopper.
I would just add that originally we had that conversation when we thought we were doing actual gates. But when we pivoted, we now have a parking lot at that one area. So it doesn't require staff to go out and open it and close it. And so that was part of the consideration with the basically 8 to 5. Because we would have expected staff to go at sunrise anyway. But that was part of the consideration. But then they were able to come up with a better solution that doesn't involve staff
Right.
or anyone, park board, volunteers or otherwise. So,
Yeah, so we would have to change our policy of sunrise to sunset and have the park be open at night. And it would have to be every night, just so people that want to behold the dark night sky can come.
We need a motion to be doing this.
Sort of to spend money probably.
Well, I mean, to even have discussion.
Yes.
okay, then I make a motion for approval of $250 for a dark sky, application fee.
Second that.
Now we're doing discussion.
Yeah, okay, so you have a motion and a second, I guess let's discuss.
Several concerns. The park hours are in our ordinance. So in order to change that, that requires an ordinance amendment. 2 weeks. It's not in the zoning code, it's in the land use regulation, so it does not require a public hearing.
You say it's in the LDR,
No, it's under
Just-
chapter.
just the general code of ordinances.
Well, it's under the division, land use division, I believe is the title, which is.
You don't need a public hearing or anything.
No, I mean, it's not in the zoning code, it's not in the LDO, so there's no public hearing that's required. Look at it and see, that's the way I designed it, but anyway, so no public hearing, but it requires 2 readings.
Yes.
With at least 6
6
days, 6 days in between. So that has to be done. We can't just say we're gonna open it otherwise, we'd be violating our own ordinance. The other aspect of it is, well, can we see the application? What's it look like? I like to see it.
Yeah,
Why don't we have one?
does Ashley have a copy of the application?
I feel sure she does. I thought she was gonna be here tonight.
Me too. Let's get a copy of the application. Sounds like if we're gonna move forward with it, we're gonna need to change an ordinance.
Well, if it has to, if it has.
We don't change the ordinance right now.
The application, just if we get approved, we don't even know if the application will be approved.
Yeah, we don't even know if
Just
we'll get the designation.
This is just, I think,
So-
because this is just to apply.
So in other words, we pay $250 for an application we haven't even seen that we don't even know will be approved.
Count the park board chair has seen it, and she's been on apparently some email threads.
So from what I'm hearing, we still don't even know if it will be approved.
Well, that's why you apply.
Yeah, it is the, Mr. Papadopoulos. Has been out to the park. At night. And done the dark sky readings, and he says he's like. Very sure that we will pass.
Okay, I mean, I still like to operate better from, other than somebody so-and-so said such and such and this and that and the other, so if there's the application, I'd like to be able to see what it.
I'd like to
see what it
Yeah,
has.
I think it's completely fair to ask to see the application.
But you said there was a timeline on this?
Feel like there is, Kathy may know what that one is.
Is this an open, is there like an application cycle here, or is there? an
Sounds like
extension? Okay, so like if we don't apply now, we might have to wait like another year.
Or whatever the time.
Yeah, we might have to. I mean, I would trust the park board to.
I mean, that's sort of like my thing too,
Organization, I mean, it's like,
but we've also given them a budget to spend money, you know what I'm saying? Like, can they just pay it out of their budget, the $250? I mean, we do ask them to vet these
I don't
things.
think our ordinance allows them to spend money on their own.
And they're just advisory, they recommend this body approve.
And I think if we wanted to change it, we probably could. I don't know, but there's stuff in that planning act that the planning commission can have a budget to spend money. I know that
You're right.
the zoning appeals can have a budget to spend money. So if they can, the argument would be why not a park board? But it's not part of the planning act. It's outside of that, but still.
Yeah, I think as long as the town council appropriates funds for that purpose, they have, and approve it themselves. You need to amend the ordinance. And amend your.
Well, maybe that's something we wanna look at, but as long as that we here, or at least as long as I'm part of approving spending money, I wanna. For an application, I wanna be able to see what the application says,
So,
or approve an event, I wanna see what the application says, and so on and so on and so on.
So if, like Wendy said, we need to fill out this application and submit it quick, fast. Who's gonna do that? Chris?
Actually,
Ashley's gonna fill it out.
Right, and
she might need a signature from you or Catherine.
there's an accompanying letter that's also part of the thing, and I think that they had asked the administrator to write the letter, or I think it can be either you or I. To write the letter that goes with it to the dark guy. But I'll be happy to.
So nobody has seen any information on this, we're just getting something from word of mouth.
I spoke.
No, he was here.
Yeah, I spoke.
I heard it, but I'm talking about, we're talking about making an application and nobody has any details whatsoever. They say time is of the essence, but then says who,
Okay.
why?
That's my fault. I thought Ashley, I was under the impression Ashley was gonna be here tonight to be able to answer these questions.
So,
It's just an application to be considered. And if we are considered, then we can change the ordinance to allow 24/7 access. I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a need to jump the gun if we're not gonna be approved.
Yeah, I agree.
so this application. Between Catherine and Chris, I mean, I would assume it's gotta be signed or something. So Chris, you're gonna put eyes on it.
Sure.
All right, I don't need to see it.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I mean, I appreciate that, Paul, but and the way that I see it is. Got a park board for a reason, and they have the application.
Right.
and They've decided they want to move forward with
That's
this.
a done deal.
I'm like, okay,
Roger that.
yeah,
I mean, if they were gonna install a bunch of streetlights, which is contrary to what we're trying to do, then yeah, but I feel like they're in step with
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
Mhm.
But
we need to comply with our lights and this municipal.
One last comment though. And no, we did from me. It involves a fundamental change in the whole aspect of the utilization of that town park. Where it's gonna be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's a significant change to what our current ordinance says. So if everybody's comfortable with that, okay, but that's a significant change, and if we're not comfortable with that, then we're wasting our time.
Well, in real life, then we should not have approved how they did the game, because in real life,
It's
it's open 24/7, 365 days a
Right.
year. There's no way to stop someone from going and parking in that gravel lot and going out and staring at the stars.
Right, and that little area that's designated, so I mean, so that's already open. No, you can't get
That's a
this
good
far.
point then. Is that sufficient?
That's-
Is that sufficient to meet the requirement?
That's why we go by the ask.
Yeah,
That is sufficient because anyone can go in and park their car.
So we don't need to amend our ordinance. You go park in the parking lot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In real life, you can. I mean,
Technically, it violates,
In all
technically,
likelihood.
that's not in line with the ordinance, but.
in real life, and we did it that way because again, we thought we were having to do gates that a person was gonna have to open and close.
right,
But then we pivoted and we never amended the ordinance, which I mean, that happens. I mean, ordinance can be amended, but in real life,
Well, I think originally the concept was just like the gate that's at Garrish Landing. That it would be automatic. It would involve no staff. It would automatically open at a specified time and close at a specified time.
correct, but we pivoted completely from that.
Right.
But we've never caught up with the hours.
Mm.
I mean, it's like saying, it's like trying to close the playground. I mean, if someone wants to go play on the playground in the middle of the night, They can, I mean, we don't have it locked up, I mean, I guess we can start putting a lock on, but they still have the fence.
I imagine a day when we have the technology and wherewithal to have an automatic gate. That'd be something, I bet we get cameras way before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what I'd like to do, I think it's been a good discussion, I think I'm ready to call a vote, because I do. Appreciate that this has already been vetted, I would have liked to have seen an application, things happen. And it's just an application. I think it's worth it, I think it's a superlative thing for our park, I do agree with the comments that it is a change, it's not sunrise to sunset in a minute. If this all goes a certain way, we'll have one of the only dark sky parks in the southeast. Where people can come and be in tune with nature and see a dark sky, which is an increasing mystery to people. Like if you remember when Beijing shut down during COVID. And people that lived there saw the stars for the first time in their lives.
LA.
Right? Yeah, in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that, and it's the dark sky's a thing, you can see the Milky Way from here. You know, and that's not, you can in Mount Pleasant.
I forgot to at this point. We could, if we are able to do this, then the town could also potentially, if Mother Nature cooperates, when we're having meteor showers or. You know, we could do like town sponsored events, like
I think that
astronomy event or.
we're required to have a certain frequency of dark sky education.
Yeah.
This application.
And again, if I thought their intention was with malice, I don't believe that. I think everything that we want and dream for the park, this is in line with it. We may have not made all the steps correctly and we will stumble, but I support applying. I mean, who knows what will happen?
What's the motion on the floor?
Motion to approve the $250 for the application and also the letter that needs to be accompanied with it.
All right, any further discussion? Great discussion, all in favor, say aye. Wait,
This is not the park budget, I assume, $250.
I would imagine.
And y'all would make other good points that there might be other things that are required for us to do that we might not want to do, or we might just not do and jeopardize our designation. I don't know. I've not seen the application, but anyway, I'm fully in support of both of them.
All right, any further discussion? Good discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, all right. Resolution 2026-02, a resolution of the town of Baldwin, South Carolina, authorizing the town of Baldwin to participate in the South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority Viability Improvement Program. I'll hear a motion to approve this resolution. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the town of Baldwin, South Carolina, authorizing the town of Baldwin to participate in the South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority Viability Improvement Program. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, let's have a discussion.
This is what we had on our agenda previously that was deferred.
Yes.
Okay. I've had some good questions about this, some really good questions about it, and I've talked to Catherine about it, I've talked to Dan about it, I've talked to the guy that told the names that made us aware of it to start off with. If there is a downside, we're liable for nothing. What we end up with by agreeing to this resolution is what we end up with is an engineered study of our water. And then from there, if we, and that's it, and then from there we can say, thank you very much, right? Or we could say, we'd like to proceed with your suggestions. And they'll fund it, right? And say, and we give nothing, it's not a matching, it's not a repay, and it's back, it's they funded. All funded from the start. Am I tracking here? Is that all correct so far? Right, so this seems like it is at least a win-win. It may be a triple win if we get $2 million at the end of it, if we agree with what they recommend we do with the water. I think this is a no-brainer. I think we do this. That's a
You Made a motion to approve it, was the second?
Yeah, we're discussing.
Discussion.
Yeah.
Is this the same outfit that, that did the water rate study?
Yes,
It is.
So the Rural Water Association works with the rural water infrastructure. So the Rural Water Association was the advocate that told us about the program, and they were the ones facilitating it from RIA.
so the guy that came and spoke to us,
Brandon Abernathy was here for the rate study,
And he's with what outfit?
Rural Water Association.
Water
so the
Association.
people that are gonna be actually doing the engineered study are not him.
Correct.
Right.
They're a completely different outfit, right?
Yes.
And there was, now, he had made reference to grants, this, that, or the other. And matching grants.
This is not a matching grant, this is a specific different pool of money specifically tailored to assist organizations like us. Who are in need of assistance that could be behind on their audits, that have a lot of deficiencies in order to be eligible for grants, and so this is specifically for those tailored systems.
That the grant that they would offer would be 100% grants and not
Yes.
matching grants.
Correct.
And,
Upwards of $2 million that we could get, that's the largest amount that we could get.
and where'd we get this? Who told us about this?
Rural Water Association, so as Ron and I were working on the water rate study. And we provided him the 5-year outlook that Ron has already conducted. He said that Almond will be a shoo-in for this program. Because they're having a hard time finding candidates. The reason why is because they don't want to put in the legwork that we already have. Of stating what our problems are that we need to fix and throwing money at it.
Okay. But again, we don't have any literature or anything to review on this.
No, so the first part about it is that you have to adopt the resolution.
And is there a place we can go on the web or something to read about this to just become more educated about it? I mean, I just,
I
I like to have information.
can send that to the council.
Well, it would be nice if we would have had it before the meeting. That's how I like how. Stuff.
Yeah, I looked it up to the point of, because I knew the infrastructure public liability improvement, I Googled it. And looked it up, and got enough information to ask some questions of the people that we had hired to know more about it, and got good recommendations.
People would hire to know who's that.
Then Era, the one,
Oh, our employees.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and my thing was. There is a timeline on this, and we do need to vote this round.
Yeah, I think you said it was July. Right?
Yes, July, and then we did bring this forward to the council. We forwarded the information on May 13th via email to council.
Right.
Before it was proposed at the May 18th meeting.
Yeah, so I've Googled it up and kind of like educated, and like I said, enough that I could ask the town staff. To fill me in more, ask the important question, like, is it gonna cost us anything? Are we required to match? And-
Well, help me understand it at least a little bit more, if y'all know more about it than I do. What does this entail? Do they come to us, do we provide, we just send them information? How does it work?
Dan, did you?
The information would be, is a 3-step program for small utilities, and the email that I'm currently reading was sent to the council on Wednesday, May 13th. So it is the RIA's utility improvement program is a 3-step program for small utilities seeking to strengthen the utility in the long term. It starts with a high-level comprehensive assessment of the utility needs, followed by more in-depth planning studies as needed. The first 2 steps are carried out by a consultant that RIA has already procured. After successful completion of those, participants are eligible for up to $2 million in grant funding for the highest priority capital improvements identified during the planning steps. One of the most important things about this program is local participation. During step 1, it is primarily providing information of the system and staff time to talk to the consultants. As participants move forward through the steps, they will be expected to take actions to begin to implement the solutions identified. The application is pretty simple, but the town council has to pass a resolution supporting participation in order to apply. You can read more and download the application form at the link provided. There's also a template there for the council resolution. Applications received by July 1 will be considered in July/early August. And that was from the program policy and development manager.
Okay,
I can re-forward that email to the council as well.
that would be good. I appreciate that. I guess the concern that I have with all of this is. And I don't know, maybe that's why we need to have this water meeting. With the people that know the problems that we have now and what we need to do to fix them. Because I really. And I'm just one person, but I don't think there's any secret, well, I know maybe it is with you guys. But for my involvement with the town going back to when the referendum first came out to have the water system. I've never supported it. I think it was a mistake to begin with. I don't want to see it go down without a consensus vote, public, and with full disclosure of any type of expansion of what we've got now, particularly until and unless what we got to get fixed to run the way it's supposed to. And then that includes capital infrastructure and billing and a proper reserve fund and rate structure, all of it. It all has to be in place. And I don't want anybody else out there to get some type of notion that unless this council votes to do it, and I'm only one vote, to promote and promulgate anything that would result in development patterns like we're seeing on Seaweed Road and on Door Road.
Agree.
And that's all I gotta say about that.
Right on. All right, Kurt, anybody else got anything for the record on this?
So I asked you earlier and I was a little confused after what Catherine just made. My understanding was that this first step of what we'd be approving tonight was more of an engineering assessment of our system. That would come with recommendations for what we might be able to do to improve the existing system. And there was no obligation to go any further after that initial assessment.
That's not how the resolution reads.
Okay.
Item 3, it says you make 3 commitments. One is to provide information for the assessment, the other one is to cooperate during the assessment, and the third is the town of Longwell commits to implementing to the extent feasible recommendations made as part of the program.
What I thought that last first one was, they're not gonna fund us unless we commit to, like, they'll fund it if we commit, you know?
Yeah, I agree with Karen. I think we need to, I would not agree to anything that required us to go forward with somebody else's recommendation and committed us to go forward with any work until we've decided what we want that to be.
Is this the form? We have to do this resolution.
That's one that I downloaded.
And
I stuck on that too.
Other question.
thought I was
You say it has to be done, it says July 1, from what you read there.
Yeah.
How, this is a one-time deal, then it goes away forever, or is this a recurring thing? That if we don't make a decision by July 1, we will never, ever be able to avail ourselves of this again?
I'm not sure how come the application process is, they only gave it.
And somebody mentioned that the problem is that people weren't even taken to bed.
Well, the problem is the part where there's the town working with them, so we have already done a lot of the legwork. Our water consultant has provided multiple 5-year programs of stating.
Okay, I've seen all that, but it seems like that if they're having a hard time recruiting people to even move forward with this thing, that you know, they would want to have it so that, hey, we're not ready right now, but we might be another month down the road. I don't know, and I'm having I guess just seeing this wasn't included what we had before, was it?
Is there?
Yes, it was.
The resolution
Yes, it
wording?
was.
Is there any information, Catherine, I don't know if we were just looking at their website, but is there any information on whether or not this is an annual grants, the timing of their grant, of their application cycle?
I can pull that up.
Felt like it was a kind of a special program, kind of a one-off, like the guy that first introduced me was like, oh, so.
So,
So it seems like a one-off, like this is the opportunity. But Dan, can you speak, do you hear what's like hanging us up?
Yeah, so I think Catherine was talking about, and some of the things is that, and what was discussed at the last town council meeting is that the town would get a free assessment from a consultant based on our issues. And they would come in with their engineer and they would recommend their process for fixing those things. Whether town council accepts that or not is what I would believe to get the funds to do the work. I think from a priority investment standpoint, you know, any time that the town can leverage funds to fix problems within capital infrastructure, that it could be a good discovery, but I think this is like what was discussed last time, this is a new program that they kind of started. I mean, if you think about a lot of the smaller municipalities that this targets, they may not have the staff power, they may not have the funding or the studies previously to show or to figure out what is truly wrong with their system or if they have a system at all. So this is truly a niche thing that the town could benefit from in the long run, and a recommendation is a recommendation from the end of the day.
Yeah, but the way this is written, I appreciate that, but I think the way this is written, we're committing to this, and I think we're in a very good position where with Northcutt and Seabrook, where we've got highly qualified experts telling us what.
We can amend this resolution to say to the extent feasible and as approved by council.
Yeah.
And then that way it's got to come back to y'all for, I mean, I'm not trying to say that's the deal killer, but as it's currently written, y'all are committed to do what they recommend
Right.
to the extent feasible.
And they're not gonna make recommendations, they're not gonna take our comprehensive plan or our goals for our community into.
Is the same
Consideration.
to the extent feasible? Does it say that? To the
Yeah.
extent
It
feasible?
does, yeah.
Yeah, so what does that
I
mean?
think it could be not feasible.
Well, it's not feasible to go on, go to approve, I think.
Yeah. like-
That's all I think
Is that,
Yeah, it's not feasible.
words found, and I like
It's not
that.
feasible because it would cost $1 million, or it's not feasible because the town doesn't want it, it's not feasible for name 100 issues why it's not feasible, that's our kick out, and that's what when I was reading it before, that's what I told you what I did before, at the end of the day, we ended up with an engineered study. We've already done a lot of the work that we address in the programs that we know of, and to the extent feasible is the kick out clause in their language that allows us, and now, the last thing is, I don't agree that we're in good hands with what we have now. Although I have a lot of respect for Richard Northcutt, a lot of respect. And I have a lot of, a lot of respect for, Mr. Seabrook, our water departments are wrecked, and for Mr. Ron Micro.
Yeah.
But our water system is a wreck. Like, we have got to figure out how to deliver water to our people. And we don't, Station 2 doesn't work at all. We've got stinking water and disgruntled people, so this seems like a port in a storm to us, and the where feasible allows it. What do you think, Tim?
Two comments. I mean, you can ask our lawyer here, to the extent feasible, you can't think of more weaselly words than that. Okay, but that's says by whose determination? Now, ours, theirs, somebody else's? No, I think it should absolutely have in there as, and as approved by town council, period. And if we don't approve it, we're not obligated to do any of it. The problem that I have with what's going on now, there's all these talks about impact fees, okay? Impact fees can't be used to fix our problems.
Right.
It can only be used to expand the existing service for new development.
Or make.
No, it cannot be used for maintenance, absolutely. Anybody that says that is absolutely incorrect. Operations and maintenance are specifically excluded for impact fee use, period. It's for capital expansion, it's for making it bigger and spreading it out.
Right.
And I personally don't want any of that. It appears there are at least two other people on council that don't want that either. So we need to make it abundantly clear that that is not part of what we're talking about here. All right, what we need help with is fixing what we've got now.
Right.
And even going far, if I've said this before, but it bears repeating again. I think some of the people that needed the service the most aren't getting it. It's not going to the folks that had the bad water to start with. It's not going down Broomstraw Hill Road. How far back into Nesbit Hill does it go? How far back into the Porsche School Road community does this water system go? Not every house in there is hooked up. You know, I know it doesn't go down Limehouse Road where I live. I know it doesn't go down Seaweed Bluff Road where the McConnells live. I know it doesn't go down Granny's Lane where a lot of my friends live. It's really geared to these subdivisions, which, I mean, we may have to live with those, okay? But we don't need any more of them. And
You don't think it needs to go down River Trolley to provide water?
let me finish if you want, please.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I received some stuff from a constituent today that found some ChatGPT, whatever that thing is. I don't do that, so, but it's online. They're old minutes or things that were posted on the town's website that aren't there anymore. But it was stuff that was put out, the whole thing about charging people a minimum monthly rate of not tying into the system, of actually having different rates for connection fees and monthly rates that are contrary to what's in our adopted ordinance. And I don't know how all this stuff came into being, but there it is. I don't think anybody debated that. These were decisions that were made by councilors, somehow posted on the internet. But anyways, I personally don't want to make anybody tie into the town's water system that doesn't want it, okay? Period. And I don't want to expand the service anywhere in the town, except to provide service to those people who want it and need it. And a lot of which was put forth as why the town even needed to have a water system to begin with. So if those people,
you could charge impact fees to go places where the water's needed.
to expand the system, yeah, but even that, it would have to depend on what were in the original plans and what the grant money was issued for, because if we've already gotten grant money or whatever to do that and didn't do it, I don't think you can use impact fee money to do that. That was planned for it, paid for it, it didn't happen, which presents its own set of. But those are my thoughts on all of this, and I don't want some outside consulting to come out with some plan about expanding our water system to go to different areas of the town and to provide a phase 3 to go up further up Door Road or Highway 17 or wherever. And implement impact fees to do it. I'm absolutely opposed to that, and there's nothing in our current comprehensive plan that speaks to expanding the water system. Now, there was some stuff in previous plans, but those have been repealed. They no longer exist. So, and I agree with whoever made the statement, these guys aren't going to be looking at all. They're gonna, they're in the business of providing water. That's what they do. So the more water they can provide, that's what they're all about.
The rural infrastructure authority are they water providers or do they help towns that provide water?
They help towns that provide water.
Right, so they're not selling water, they're selling studies on your existing water system.
Correct.
But to be able to provide water and expand water, they're not there. They're not there to fix a broken system that probably shouldn't have been put there to begin with, as you yourself have even admitted. It would have been better to give people good wells than to have that now.
It sounds like that's what they're trying to do here is assess our failed water system with an engineered study, like they can tell
Well,
us.
it's easy enough to put in the resolution. Our lawyer can come up with some fine words to say exactly that. And if that's what we want to do, I suggest that's what we do.
I think we want to.
If you got any,
Are you on the water?
Yes,
Are you on the water?
Mhm.
Are you on the water? Are you?
I am not.
Are you?
No.
And I know you're not. How's your water been since April?
What'd you say, Wendy?
I'm asking them.
it's been fine.
Yours has been fine. How about
How's your
yours?
water
I
been?
haven't, bro.
Mine's been great. I have a system.
You have, but you have like you paid an additional. Reverse osmosis filter.
What is a system?
So
I don't know.
it doesn't matter. My point is, and I agree where you guys are coming. Y'all don't want sewer, y'all don't want it expanded, y'all don't want more subdivisions. I have been more than vilified because I live in one of these subdivisions. But I'm here. And I'm so here, I just moved my mom down. And there are a lot of other people moving here. And they deserve decent water. And I don't wanna go down the bunny trail of whether it was installed correctly or what the intention was. All I'm saying is that we have people here that you represent, you represent, you represent, and you represent. That did not know that it was installed incorrect. And did not know that when they wash their sheets and towels, it's gonna smell like rotten eggs when they go to sleep at night, or when they try to come out of a shower. And I don't submit complaints to you and you and you, cause y'all are probably getting enough. But my water sucks. It either smells like eggs or chlorine. And I can't afford currently to put in, but quite frankly, my main line was installed underneath my driveway. So I'm gonna have to dig up a lot of concrete to actually put in reverse osmosis or any kind of filtration system. And I don't have the money to do that. But I'm asking y'all to consider the people who have moved here in good faith and want us to get it right. And I think, no, still my turn.
I'm
They
waiting.
came here and said that they would give us a study and tell us, we can't afford that. We don't know how to hire someone who knows how to do that, and they're offering to do it. And so I was like, I'm gonna vote for it. And if Mac wants to amend it, fine, I'll still vote for it. But I'm voting for this because the people who live here, they deserve our best effort.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, since I've been on council, this is our very best effort to get to the bottom of it. So
And it's our responsibility to do so.
it's our responsibility to fix. It's not our problem. We didn't create it, but it's our responsibility to try to find a solution. And this is the absolute closest we have come to finding anybody who offered us a solution.
It doesn't say on the website either that they're just for upgrading, it does say it's to improve existing
Improve,
systems
yeah.
too. So they do expand, and that's probably their focus, but they also do improve existing systems, so.
I agree with everything you said.
Well, let me have an opportunity.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said, and I was in favor of this if it was simply them coming in and doing a study and making recommendations to improve the existing system. But if it's committing us to accepting those recommendations, I don't think this is the right path, but I absolutely agree about the solution, finding the solutions and making this work better, and I think there are a lot of things I just don't know if it's a requirement for us to go forward with recommendations. That might not fit with what we want for our community, what the community wants, clean water, but let's do it the right way and deserves it, obviously. But I'm just concerned that this might not be, we have to commit to going forward with recommendations, even to know what they have.
Matt, can you get us past this? Can you amend the document?
Yeah, I think you can just say to the extent feasible and as approved by town council.
Thank
And
you.
then that way, anything that they recommend, you would have to approve.
But is that gonna put us in sorry, Ken, is that gonna put us in a problem with them if they come in and do this study? And then make these recommendations expecting that we're gonna follow through with what they say and we don't approve it? I mean, if they're investing in this, are they gonna be willing to stop after the study?
I don't know.
That would be the question.
But they won't be able to force you to do what they're recommending if we amend the ordinance.
Resolutions.
Or resolution.
What you got, Charlie?
I agree with Ms. Helms 100%. It's our problem. We need to fix it. That's our job. And that's all there is to that. So in that regard, I make a motion that we amend the original motion to include what is the language?
And the parent and where the comment are says.
All right, under the ordaining clause, paragraph 3. To amend that sentence to read as follows: Town of Allendale commits to implementing to the extent feasible and as approved by town council, recommendations made as part of the program.
We have a motion in a second.
Second.
Any discussion? And my question about that, Matt, is we've amended what they've sent to us to sign, is that correct? And then we'll amend it and send it back to them, and if they kick it out and say you're not allowed to amend this, then we miss the opportunity. Right?
Probably so, but I think that will tell us that some of the concerns of the council members are valid and that they want to lock you into their recommendations.
Oh, God. I would say, I so think there's a way with it to do it without amending it, but I will defer to.
They may not have a problem with
They
it.
may not, they may have no problem,
Yeah,
but they may say there is a problem because they're held by municipal legal stipulations, just like we are. And I do think there's a way to plead our case the way it's written without amending it. But that's the only thing that I, you know what I mean? Like, I would hate to miss the $2 million opportunity, plus however huge the engineering study that tells us how to solve the water problem is, because we're changing their contract. With a little bit of time, I mean, I guess we could, there's nothing we can do between now and July 1st. It isn't like they kick it back and go like, can't reword our document, and then we have time to do anything.
Well, as soon as this gets approved, we can have this ready by tonight for signatures to get this out the door. So that if there is a problem, we can schedule a special call meeting before July 1.
Okay,
or they, yeah, I mean, realistically, they would reach out and say, hey, we noticed y'all need this, we got a problem. All right, we go back to council and see if they're agreeable with
Why
something.
don't we get a step ahead of that, and when we deliver it, you're gonna notice we made one change.
Yeah, I think we definitely point that out when it goes back.
That's kind of sneaky, we could write it in invisible ink.
Yeah.
All right, so any further discussion on it? I will yield to the greater experience and the potentially greater wisdom of putting the council's approval and not fight that. So all in favor of the motion as amended? Say no.
You gotta approve the amendment first.
Okay,
Then you approve.
all in favor of approving the amendment to the motion on the floor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now, all in favor of passing the motion on the floor, say aye.
As amended.
As amended, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, good work, everybody. Way to be thorough, way to fight for the rights of the people. And thank you for that data and helping me report it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I can break it.
Actually, I'm going, we go ahead and do it, we go into executive session, then. take-
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll hear a motion, you want to speak, excited?
Motion, can you read it? Motion to go in executive session for the stated purpose of personal matters. For the following purposes: discussion concerning utility manager position, discussion concerning town staff, receipt of legal advice covered by the attorney-client privilege concerning lay down yard proposal under existing PD within.
Very second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. Take a Or just. Let us know when we're ready with that.
The hours are back.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session, given that no votes or action were taken by in executive session.
Motion to exit executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to, take action on the municipal water board.
Make a motion to authorize the town administrator to proceed with the utility manager position as discussed in executive session.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those unanimous, I'll entertain a motion to make a motion to adjourn.
So.
All in favor?